welcome to this terrific Tuesday edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. We're coming to you today live as we do every single day from the Question Tequila Studios. We are downtown in our own little Liquid Lunch outpost right here on Broadway. Before getting into today's whopper of a terrific Tuesday show, let's go down the street to the New York Stock Exchange, where today we're coming off of yesterday's record-breaking performance. The Dow is up about 45. Many people feel that good news is coming out of the China trade talks. We saw in the last couple of days China has cracked down on IP theft at home on their shores. That's a sign that maybe the negotiators are making some progress there, and maybe good news is going to come out with these phase one trade talks. Bitcoin up about 100 today at 7,100, but stay very careful in Bitcoin. As I mentioned to you, below 8 was a danger zone. If it drops below 7, it could go as low as 5. Stay right there. And stay right there for this, because joining me as usual is Frank Morano, my co-host, managing editor of Liquid Lunch. Hello, pal.
Hello there, John. How are we?
Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday, but it's really more like a Thursday.
It's like a Thursday.
There's speculation whether today is more like a Thursday or a Wednesday.
So it's Thirsty Thursday, so we start drinking now.
That's right.
But
we also still get the benefit of Taco Tuesday. Unfortunately, Neil Limbaugh has fled to Canada.
So we have a Taco Thirsty Tuesday.
Exactly.
That's not bad. That might be a new one. Hashtag Taco Thirsty.
Absolutely.
Because today is the equivalent of a Thursday, as tomorrow is like a Friday.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Whopper of a show coming up today. Scott Lebedo is going to be here. He's our favorite conservative artist. He's a patriot. And he has created an amazing rendition of the Mother Cabrini statue that he's proposing that New York erects to one of the first saint. And Scott Levinson will be here a little later on from the Advance Group to mix it up with Manny Alejandro on the right, New York City attorney, and also candidate for New York City Public Advocate. So I see you've done a great job.
Yes, I have.
And to round out hour one, we'll have a nationally syndicated radio host heard here in New York on AM 970, Kevin McCullough. Will join us about his column that apparently the president tweeted.
Boy, and it got like thousands of retweets.
McCullough's going to be flying. He's going to come pulling up on a magic carpet
You know
today.
what? I immediately...
He's like Aladdin.
As soon as I saw the president's tweet, and in fact, can we put the president's tweet up there? It's GFX02, if we can. As soon as I saw the president's tweet, I knew Kevin was going to be impossible to deal with for the whole week. And sure enough, I said, let me do the guy a solid. He's a friend of mine, you know, he's a frequent drinking buddy. And sure enough, I said, hey, Kevin, can you come on at 1:20? He says, no, I can't. Let me see if I can move my 1:35. Is there any way we can pre-tape at 11:30? I said, no, Kevin, there's no way we can pre-tape
We'll catch up with you later.
Eastern.
Kev.
I said, if you can't make it, you know, during the time the show is on, then forget it.
You can't be on today,
exactly.
that's all. Come on Freaky Friday tomorrow.
But this tweet has done a number on Kevin's ego. So there you go. There you see it, right? This is a column in Town Hall.
The unspoken truth, what impeachment exposed about Trump and 2020.
Yes.
Townhall.com exclusive from Kevin McCullough, and he'll be here a little later in the hour to break it all down and maybe give us some of the tricks of the trade, how we get the president to tweet about one of our...
Well, I think it's just to be servile and write exactly whatever he wants to read and glowing praise of him at all times.
Well, I can do that easily. You know that.
No, but you have too much integrity.
Panderer. Oh, yeah?
I mean,
Did
maybe
you say
not.
That? Oh,
maybe
all
not.
Right.
Maybe
this
not.
Is there are some tremendous revelations going on today's show.
Briefly beyond...
Big breaking news today is there was some airspace
violation. There was a airspace violation that caused the White House to briefly be on lockdown, but it was fairly brief. Doesn't appear to be anything other than a minor incident. No major national security implications. We're also monitoring Mike Pompeo's speech, which just ended, in which he talked about everything from the impeachment inquiry to Hong Kong and Ukraine. So we're keeping an eye on all the breaking news as it breaks throughout the next 2 hours. However, there is one news organization that is not keeping an eye on any of the breaking news, but that is precisely what I am speaking frankly about. So Mike Bloomberg, who I like, I was a supporter of his for his first 2 terms as mayor. I thought maybe 11 years ago he might have been a good president, certainly better than President Obama. Mike Bloomberg, if he was running for president of any other country, would be described as American oligarch Mike Bloomberg, because that's exactly what he is. Not only is one of the wealthiest people on the planet, but he controls a media organization, and this is where we see the problem with conflict of interest. So what we saw this big statement from the editor-in-chief of Bloomberg News, John Micklethwaite. How'd you like to go through life with a name like John Micklethwaite?
How'd you like to go through life with a name like John Tobacco?
Well, hey, you and John Micklethwaite are part of
John Micklethwaite should start working
a support group somewhere. Take a look at what John Micklethwaite said over the weekend, right after Mike Bloomberg put out this statement that he was going to be running for president. If we could put that up on the screen, please. So basically, what he's saying is they are suspending the editorial board, so there will be no unsigned editorials. Their columnists, who produce the majority of Bloomberg opinions content, will continue to speak for themselves, and they'll continue to take some op-ed articles from outsiders, although not op-eds about the election. Bloomberg opinion will be led by Bob Burgess, with Rito being the main overseer on the editorial management committee.
What's Rito?
I'm not sure what Rito is, and then if we could see, was there more to that statement there? No? Okay. But so anyway, the gist of what they said there was, and it was not included in that statement, but in the subsequent portion of it, is that they're no longer going to be, they're not going to run any investigatory articles about Mike Bloomberg or his company or his campaign or anything like that. So to be fair, what they're doing is they're not going to run investigative pieces about any of the other Democratic presidential candidates.
Oh, this sounds fair.
But don't worry, they're still going to continue to run investigative pieces about Donald Trump.
Here's the punchline.
Yeah, what you're seeing here is Michael Bloomberg, who, in addition to trying to buy the election, is now weaponizing his personal media company so that it doesn't attack him or any of the other people that are running for the nomination of his party. It only attacks the guy that he wants to beat. Now, you'd call that journalistic integrity? Now, Meghan Murphy, who used to be a journalist at Bloomberg, right around the time of Bloomberg's last presidential flirtation in 2016, she was presented with a near identical memo during the 2016 election, and she was very clear that she would quit if this ever saw the light of day. This is outrageous. This is not journalism. This is embarrassing. This is taking a bunch of credible journalists and turning them into a propaganda arm. You know, the critics of Newsmax and Breitbart and the Daily Caller and Fox News say we're propaganda arms for the president. Oh, no, no, no. This is literally, we're independent journalists and commentators who could say whatever we want within reason. And what Bloomberg News is doing is turning a respected group of journalists into a Mike Bloomberg campaign apparatchik.
It's ridiculous.
And that's a real problem. And I'm surprised that the editor-in-chief, Mr. Micklethwaite, would go along with this. And I'm surprised Mike Bloomberg would be okay with this. I wish he would divorce himself entirely from running his company and let them be independent. We've seen other media people do that before, but we have not seen anything like what Bloomberg is doing since 1904, when William Randolph Hearst, who was a congressman from here in New York, ran for president, and he used his newspapers to try and buoy his presidential candidacy. We have not seen anything like this in over a century.
So let me ask you this. If I got this straight, Frankie. Bloomberg's, all his quality journalists and people at Bloomberg, they're not going to do any investigative pieces on one of the presidential candidates, Mike Bloomberg.
Right, or
and
the Democrats.
They're not going to go after any of his opponents who are in his party.
Right.
But they are going to continue to go after the president, Donald Trump.
And what we call
I got that straight.
When you only investigate one campaign, we don't call that journalism. We call that opposition research.
Right.
Those of you that have been part of campaigns know this is what they do. So Mike Bloomberg essentially has 1,000 opposition researchers now, digging for dirt on the guy that he wants to run against.
Does that go as an expenditure? I know he's not raising money, but there's still FEC standards,
I think that's a great question.
He's weaponizing Bloomberg media, right? He's probably running ads in between every screen you click on a Bloomberg terminal.
Well, he's on every.
I'm saying.
I saw 20 ads.
No,
today
but I'm
alone.
talking about where there's a Bloomberg terminal or TV. I bet you he's running a boatload of free ads there. So he's weaponizing, and basically he's getting earned media for free.
Yeah.
It's not costing him anything. And he's only wrecking the president, and he's going to leave all his opponents on the Democratic side alone.
Do you remember how crazy people went in the election 3 years ago when Donald Trump got to host Saturday Night Live? I can't believe they're letting him host Saturday Night Live. He's giving him all this free publicity. And then when his name was on The Apprentice, even after he was taken off The Apprentice and Schwarzenegger was hosting, and we saw how well Governor Schwarzenegger did hosting The Apprentice, he did about as well as he did making Last Action Hero or presiding over the state of California. Trump's name was on the screen and people went crazy. Where is the outrage, except from this Meghan Murphy, this former Bloomberg editor?
Can we get her on?
Yeah, she's in Great Britain now, so we're going to have our Great Britain liaison, Cece, reach out to her.
One thing I wanted to point out to you, Frank, we've been talking about this a lot. A lot of people are kind of coming up to us and saying, hey, I'm watching Liquid Lunch. I'm watching it every day. I'm a big fan. You get, yes. I see people's comments on your Facebook.
My cousin Debbie.
Cousin Debbie. But, a lot of people, like today I was in Home Depot getting some carpet for the studio before work, and a guy, Kevin, came up to me, retired from New York City House Authority, and he said, hey, you're Mr. Liquid Lunch. I've never seen the guy before in my life. He's saying, no, we're watching religiously every day. We're watching. So I thought we would do something fun and start the Liquid Lunch Biggest Fan Contest.
Wow.
I know we talked about it a little before the show. You set down some guidelines and rules and protocols. So what do folks have to do if they want to be named the biggest Liquid Lunch fan?
My understanding of how this is going to work is that people can reach out to us through any form of social media.
That's right.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of which the handle is Liquid Lunch TV. And then send us something in writing or a video explaining why they are the biggest Liquid Lunch fan. And in return, they are going to get a free purple shirt.
Every submission to be crowned the biggest fan, just for submitting a submission, you will get a Liquid Lunch purple T-shirt, they're going to be limited edition. They're only going to be the people who tried out to be or submitted to be the biggest fan. And we'll see. Maybe we'll get, 2 or 3 submissions.
Hey, exactly. Your chances are pretty good if that's the case.
If what I'm hearing is true, maybe we'll get hundreds and thousands.
All right, and we're going to do
me a boatload in shirts.
We're going to do the unveil on Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve, we're going to crown the winner. Send in a video. Send in an email. You got to be friends with us on social media so we know who you are.
You don't expect us to work on Christmas Eve, do you?
Well, we're not going to work. We're going to put a big punch bowl on the desk, and we're going to just have a free-for-all for Christmas Eve.
Right. A lot of people might want to be home with their families.
All right. We're going to debate whether or not we're working on Christmas Eve a little after the show today. But Scott Levinson and Manny Alejandro are coming up in just a bit. They're going to mix it up left, right. I'm going to mix up a drink and shut up. I'm going to start talking again in just a couple of minutes. Stay right there for these commercials. We need you to watch the commercials and come back right after this.